Khaby Lame became the most followed person on TikTok without saying a single word. But what you don't know is that just 2 years before his explosion, he was sleeping on a friend's couch after losing his factory job during a global pandemic. If you want the full story of how a laid-off assembly line worker from Italy became more famous than Charli D'Amelio, stay tuned. We'll get into the secrets behind his silent comedy, his incredible rise from poverty, his battles with immigration, and how he turned simplicity into a 161 million follower empire here on Rise to Fame. Khaby Lame was born Khaby Lame on March 9, 2000, in Ziguinchor, Senegal, West Africa. His parents, working-class citizens struggling to make ends meet, made the life-changing decision to immigrate to Italy when Khaby was just 1 year old. They settled in Chivasso, a small industrial town near Turin in northern Italy. Khaby grew up in public housing with his 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, in a tight-knit immigrant household where money was always tight, but love was abundant. As a kid, Khaby was the class clown. His teachers remember him as the boy who could make anyone laugh without even trying. He'd pull faces during math class, mimic his teachers with exaggerated gestures, and entertain his friends during lunch breaks with physical comedy. But here's the twist: Khaby was actually painfully shy when it came to public speaking. He preferred to communicate through expressions and body language, a trait that would later define his entire career. Khaby never made it to college. While his classmates dreamed of university degrees and white-collar careers, Khaby's reality was different. At 18, instead of walking into a lecture hall, he walked into a CNC machine factory in Chivasso. He wanted to be someone who made people laugh for a living, maybe a comedian or an entertainer. But he became a factory worker operating industrial machinery for €1,000 a month. The dream seemed dead before it even began. Then March 2020 hit. COVID-19 swept across Italy like a tidal wave, and Italy became the first Western country to enter total lockdown. Khaby, along with millions of others, lost his job. No severance. No backup plan. No savings. He was 20 years old, living in one of the hardest-hit countries in the world, with no income and no prospects. But it got worse. As an immigrant with Senegalese citizenship, Khaby faced a bureaucratic nightmare. He couldn't travel. He couldn't access certain benefits. He couldn't even visit his home country if he wanted to. He was stuck, trapped between 2 worlds, belonging fully to either. His Italian friends could move freely across Europe. He couldn't. The weight of statelessness crushed him daily. For weeks, Khaby stayed in his small apartment, scrolling through social media, watching the world fall apart while his own life crumbled in slow motion. He watched people panic buy toilet paper, make sourdough bread, and create elaborate TikTok dances. And then he saw something that made him laugh, and then made him angry. Life hack videos. Overcomplicated, ridiculous life hack videos where people use power tools to peel a banana or build Rube Goldberg machines to turn off a light switch. Khaby thought, why are people making simple things so complicated? And in that frustration, a spark ignited. In March 2020, Khaby downloaded TikTok, not to become famous, but to kill time. His first videos were typical quarantine content, dancing, lip-syncing, and gaming clips. Nothing special. Nothing viral. He had maybe 1,000 followers after weeks of posting. Then, in one spontaneous moment, he recorded something different. He found a life hack video showing someone using a complicated method to eat spaghetti. Khaby stitched the video, looked at the camera with his now iconic deadpan expression, and simply showed the normal way to eat pasta. No words. Just a shrug and that look that said, "Really?" That video got 20,000 views. Then 50,000. Then 1 million. People weren't just watching, they were tagging their friends, sharing it across platforms, and turning it into memes. Khaby had accidentally discovered a universal language, silent, sarcastic common sense. But viral moments don't equal instant success. Khaby kept posting, but for months, his growth was inconsistent. One video would hit 1 million views, the next would barely crack 10,000. He was stuck in algorithm purgatory, close to breaking through but not quite there. For 3 months, Khaby posted daily. He perfected his format, find an absurd life hack, react with silence, show the obvious solution, and deliver the signature shrug. But TikTok's algorithm favored dance trends and lip syncs. Comedy, especially silent comedy, wasn't being pushed. Khaby watched as teenagers doing the renegade got millions of followers overnight, while his clever, original content struggled to find an audience. Khaby spoke Italian and French, but most viral TikTokers were English-speaking Americans. Brands wanted influencers who could do sponsorships in English. Khaby couldn't. He tried adding Italian captions, but engagement dropped. He tried English captions using Google Translate, but they felt stiff and awkward. He was funny, but he couldn't communicate in the language of the platform's biggest audience. It felt like the universe was telling him he wasn't meant for this. Just as Khaby's follower count started climbing, hitting 5 million, then 10 million, opportunities arose that he couldn't take. A brand in Los Angeles wanted to fly him out for a collaboration. He couldn't get a visa. A European creator wanted to meet for a collab in Paris. The paperwork took months. Other creators were jet-setting around the world, attending influencer events, and signing brand deals. Khaby was stuck in Chivasso, watching opportunities slip away because of a passport he didn't have. By late 2020, Khaby had 15 million followers. He was growing fast, but Charli D'Amelio, TikTok's queen, had over 100 million. The gap seemed insurmountable. Every time Khaby gained 1 million followers, Charli gained 2 million. Industry insiders said you couldn't beat the dance creators, that comedy had a ceiling on TikTok. Khaby started to believe them. Maybe 20 million followers was his peak. Maybe that was enough. Khaby tried to expand to Instagram, hoping to diversify his audience. He posted his TikToks as Reels. They flopped. Instagram's algorithm didn't pick them up. His Instagram sat at 500,000 followers, while his TikTok soared past 30 million. He felt like a one-platform wonder, successful, but trapped. If TikTok ever collapsed or banned him, his entire career would vanish overnight. Then something shifted. June 2021. Khaby hit 50 million followers. Then 60 million. Then 70 million. The growth was exponential and unstoppable. News outlets started covering him. The man who became TikTok's biggest star without saying a word. How an immigrant factory worker dethroned Charli D'Amelio. On June 22, 2022, Khaby officially became the most followed person on TikTok, surpassing Charli D'Amelio with over 142 million followers. He didn't dance. He didn't sing. He didn't speak. He just shrugged, and the world fell in love. But it wasn't just about the follower count. Khaby's videos transcended TikTok. His reactions became memes used across Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Facebook. His face became shorthand for, "This is obvious." His signature hand gesture, palms up, eyebrows raised, became a global symbol for calling out unnecessary complexity. Celebrities started noticing. Ed Sheeran commented on his videos. Naomi Campbell invited him to events. Zlatan Ibrahimovic collaborated with him. He appeared at the Cannes Film Festival, walked red carpets, and met with world leaders. The laid-off factory worker from Chivasso was now rubbing shoulders with the global elite. And he did it all without saying a single word. Fast forward to 2024, and Khaby isn't just relevant, he's evolved. While many pandemic-era TikTokers have faded into obscurity, Khaby has expanded his brand strategically. He's appeared in commercials for Hugo Boss, starred in campaigns for Binance and Dream 11, and even landed acting roles in Italian films. In 2023, he competed as a contestant on the Italian version of Celebrity Hunted, showcasing a different side of his personality, playful, strategic, and yes, finally speaking on camera. Fans loved seeing him break his silence, but they loved even more that his core brand, silent, sarcastic simplicity, remained intact. His Instagram, once stagnant, now boasts over 80 million followers. His YouTube channel features behind-the-scenes content, vlogs, and collaborations with other creators. He's launched a podcast, where, ironically, he actually talks, appeared on talk shows across Europe and America, and become a spokesperson for immigration reform in Italy. And speaking of immigration, in August 2022, after years of bureaucratic battles, Khaby finally received Italian citizenship. The moment was emotional, symbolic, and powerful. He posted a photo holding his Italian passport with a simple caption. Finally, the kid who couldn't travel, who missed opportunities because of a piece of paper, was now a citizen of the country he'd called home for over 20 years. Off camera, Khaby is surprisingly introverted. Despite having 161 million TikTok followers, he still lives relatively modestly. He owns a home in Milan, drives a modest car, though brands have gifted him luxury vehicles, and spends most of his free time gaming, especially FIFA and Call of Duty. He has a Rottweiler named Boss, who occasionally appears in his Instagram stories. Khaby credits his family, especially his mother, for keeping him grounded. "She still tells me to clean my room," he joked in a rare interview. During the pandemic, Khaby had an epiphany. Success isn't about being the loudest person in the room. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent and let your actions speak. That philosophy didn't just define his content, it defined his life. He's also surprisingly spiritual. Khaby is Muslim and often references his faith as a source of strength during his darkest days. "When I lost my job, I prayed a lot. I didn't know what would happen, but I trusted that God had a plan." But Khaby's story isn't over. In fact, the most fascinating chapter might just be beginning. Next up, how he's navigating the dangerous world of fame, the controversies he's faced, and whether his silent empire can survive the rapidly changing landscape of social media. Stick around. What most people don't realize is that Khaby Lame isn't just a content creator. He's a business mogul operating a multi-million-dollar empire. According to industry estimates, Khaby earned approximately $10 million in 2022 alone through brand deals, sponsorships, and appearances. His rate for a single sponsored TikTok post? Around $750,000. That's $750,000 for 60 seconds of silent comedy. But Khaby didn't stumble into these deals blindly. After his initial viral success, he made a crucial decision that separated him from other flash-in-the-pan influencers. He hired Alessandro Riggio, an Italian talent manager who previously worked with traditional celebrities. Riggio saw what Khaby couldn't see at first, that his silence wasn't a limitation, it was a superpower. Most influencers limit themselves to English-speaking markets. Riggio explained in an interview. Khaby speaks to everyone. His content works in Tokyo, works in Buenos Aires, works in Lagos, and works in New York. He's the first truly global digital star. Under Riggio's guidance, Khaby transformed from a viral creator into a branded entity. They developed a strategy, selective partnerships with premium brands, maintaining authenticity, and never, absolutely never, compromising the simplicity that made him famous. Let's break down the partnerships that elevated Khaby from internet famous to globally recognized. Hugo Boss. 2022 Khaby became the face of Hugo Boss's #BeYourOwnBoss campaign. This wasn't just another influencer partnership. This was a luxury fashion house betting their brand identity on a 22-year-old who made jokes about peeling bananas. The campaign featured Khaby in tailored suits, maintaining his signature deadpan expression while simplifying overcomplicated fashion choices. The irony was brilliant, a brand known for sophistication embracing radical simplicity. Binance, 2022 to 2023. As cryptocurrency companies scrambled to appear relatable during the crypto winter, Binance tapped Khaby as a global ambassador. His job? Make crypto less intimidating. The campaign showed Khaby reacting to overcomplicated crypto explanations with his signature shrug, then demonstrating simple ways to use the platform. Whether you think crypto is legitimate or not, the marketing was genius. Khaby made a notoriously complex industry feel accessible. Dream 11, India, 2022 to 2023. This partnership revealed Khaby's strategic geographic thinking. Dream 11, India's largest fantasy sports platform, paid Khaby millions to appear in Indian television commercials and digital campaigns. Why? Because India represents over 200 million TikTok users. Even though TikTok is banned there, they follow him on Instagram. Khaby understood that global influence means thinking beyond American and European markets. State Farm, Pepsi, and Xbox, these partnerships followed, each leveraging Khaby's universal appeal. State Farm used him to simplify insurance jargon. Pepsi featured him in Super Bowl-adjacent content. Xbox positioned him as a gaming simplifier, poking fun at overly complicated game tutorials. The pattern was clear. Brands weren't hiring Khaby to be loud or flashy. They were hiring him to cut through the noise in an oversaturated advertising landscape. But why does Khaby's content work so effectively? Psychologists and digital media experts have studied this phenomenon, and the answers reveal something profound about modern communication. Dr. Sarah Chin, a media psychologist at Stanford University, explains, Khaby taps into something called cognitive fluency, the brain's preference for information that's easy to process. In an era of information overload, his content is effortless to understand. You don't need to read captions, you don't need to speak a language, and you don't even need sound. Your brain instantly gets the joke. There's also the superiority theory, of humor at play. When we watch someone overcomplicate a simple task and then watch Khaby show the obvious solution, we feel smart. We think, I would have done it Khaby's way. That small hit of superiority feels good, and we want more of it. Professor Marcus Johnson, a sociologist at Columbia University, adds another layer. Khaby represents the immigrant experience translated into comedy. He's constantly showing us that the complicated American way isn't better. Sometimes the simple, common-sense approach works just fine. For immigrants and people of color worldwide, there's a deep resonance in watching a black immigrant from Africa essentially say, "Your way isn't special." This is common sense everywhere. This political undertone, though Khaby himself never explicitly states it, makes his content powerful beyond just laughs. He's quietly dismantling assumptions about who gets to be the authority, who gets to teach, and whose knowledge is valued. Of course, no rise to fame happens without controversy. Despite his wholesome image, Khaby has faced his share of criticism and challenges. The "he's not original" backlash, 2021 as Khaby's follower count exploded, some creators accused him of stealing their concept. A few smaller TikTokers claimed they'd been doing reaction to life hacks content before Khaby. The criticism escalated on Twitter, with some users calling him a copycat riding a wave. Khaby never directly responded to these accusations. His manager released a statement. Reacting to content is as old as comedy itself. Khaby's execution, consistency, and unique personality are what resonated with audiences. The controversy faded quickly, mostly because the critics couldn't point to anyone who'd done it exactly like Khaby, with his specific timing, expressions, and silence. The privilege debate, 2022 after Khaby received his Italian citizenship, some activists criticized the attention his case received. Millions of immigrants wait decades for citizenship. One advocate wrote, "Why does a celebrity get fast-tracked?" The Italian government denied any special treatment, claiming Khaby's case had been processed through normal channels and that the timing was coincidental. Khaby addressed this in one of his rare public statements. "I know I'm lucky. I know I have a platform that others don't have. That's exactly why I talk about immigration reform, so that other people don't have to wait as long as I did, or longer." The selling out accusations, 2023 as Khaby's brand partnerships multiplied, some longtime fans accused him of becoming too commercial. Comments on his post complained, "Remember when you were just funny? Another ad? Unsubscribe. He used to be authentic." This criticism reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of influencer economics. Khaby posts 3 to 4 times per week. Maybe one of those posts per month is a paid partnership. The ratio of organic to sponsored content is actually better than most influencers, but the visibility of his partnerships makes them feel more prominent. The political pressure, 2023 to 2024 as Khaby's influence grew, both political sides tried to claim him. Right-wing Italian politicians pointed to him as proof that immigrants who work hard succeed. Left-wing activists wanted him to be more vocal about systemic racism and immigration injustice. Khaby largely stayed out of it, posting a statement saying, "I'm not a politician. I'm a creator. I share my story, but I don't speak for everyone." This neutrality frustrated some activists, who felt he had a responsibility to use his platform more aggressively. But it also protected his brand. Staying apolitical meant staying universally appealing. Behind Khaby's seemingly effortless success lies a sophisticated understanding of social media algorithms. Through interviews with his team and analysis of his posting patterns, several strategies emerge. Consistency over virality. Khaby posts consistently, 3 to 4 times per week on TikTok and daily on Instagram stories. He doesn't chase every trend. This consistency tells the algorithm that his account is active and reliable, which leads to more favorable distribution. The 7-second hook. Khaby's videos average 15 to 20 seconds, but the setup always happens in the first 7 seconds. Why? Because TikTok's algorithm heavily weights completion rate. If viewers watch your entire video, it gets pushed to more people. Khaby's short format means higher completion rates. Cross-platform optimization. Khaby doesn't just post the same video everywhere. He adapts. TikTok gets the original, Instagram Reels gets a slightly different edit with different captions, and YouTube Shorts gets compilation formats. Each platform's algorithm is different, and his team optimizes for each one. The comment strategy. Khaby rarely responds to comments, but his team strategically pins comments that spark debate or conversation. Could you do this with other object? This works everywhere except country. These pinned comments drive engagement in the comments section, which algorithms love. Strategic collaborations. When Khaby collaborates with other creators, he doesn't choose randomly. His team analyzes overlap in audiences, engagement rates, and algorithmic performance. A collab with a creator whose audience has 30% overlap with Khaby's introduces him to 70% new potential followers. The silence as algorithm hack, perhaps most brilliantly, Khaby's silence means his videos don't rely on trending sounds. Trending sounds on TikTok are powerful but fleeting. They work for a week, then die. Khaby's content is evergreen. A video from 2021 can go viral again in 2024 because it's not tied to a specific moment or audio trend. Khaby didn't build this empire alone. Behind the silent comedian is a team of professionals managing every aspect of his brand. Alessandro Riggio, manager and strategic advisor, the architect of Khaby's business strategy. Riggio handles all negotiations, vets partnership opportunities, and protects Khaby's brand integrity. Industry insiders say Riggio turns down 95% of offers Khaby receives, maintaining scarcity and exclusivity. Content team, 3 to 4 people while Khaby creates all his own content. He has a team that scouts life hack videos, manages editing for platform-specific posts, and handles the technical side of uploads and scheduling. Social media manager, monitors comments, DMs, and engagement across all platforms. Also tracks analytics and provides weekly reports on what's working. Legal and financial team, manages contracts, intellectual property rights, and taxes across multiple countries and handles immigration/visa paperwork. PR representative, coordinates interview requests, event appearances, and crisis management. After the citizenship controversy, this role became crucial. The monthly cost of this team? Estimated between $30,000 and $50,000. But when you're earning $10 million annually, that's a wise investment. For Khaby, being an immigrant isn't just a backstory, it's central to everything he does. In interviews, he consistently returns to themes of belonging, acceptance, and identity. I grew up Italian. Khaby explained in a 2023 interview with La Repubblica. I speak Italian, I eat Italian food, and I love Italian football. But for 21 years, on paper, I wasn't Italian. Do you know what that feels like? Like you're a guest in your own home. This experience shaped his content philosophy. His videos aren't just about simplifying life hacks, they're about questioning authority and assumed expertise. When Khaby shows the simple way, he's implicitly asking, why did someone make this complicated? Who benefits from complexity? This resonates especially with immigrant audiences worldwide who navigate systems designed to be deliberately complex: immigration bureaucracy, banking systems, and healthcare enrollment. Khaby's gesture, the shrug, the obvious solution, feels like solidarity. After receiving citizenship, Khaby became an unofficial spokesperson for Italy's citizenship reform movement. Italy has one of the strictest citizenship laws in Europe. Children born in Italy to immigrant parents don't automatically receive citizenship. They must wait until age 18, then apply, then wait years for approval. Khaby has used his platform to highlight these injustices. In 2023, he met with Italian lawmakers to discuss reform. While legislation hasn't passed, his advocacy brought international attention to an issue most Italians had never considered. If I can use my fame to help even one person get citizenship faster, to help one immigrant kid feel like they belong, that's worth more than any brand deal, Khaby said. Despite his massive fame, Khaby has managed to keep much of his personal life relatively private, a rare feat for someone with 161 million followers. Zaira Nucci, his partner, Khaby has been in a relationship with Zaira Nucci since before his fame. They met in 2020, right before COVID lockdowns. Zaira occasionally appears in his Instagram posts but maintains her own privacy. She's not an influencer, doesn't seek the spotlight, and reportedly works in fashion retail. Their relationship is notably low drama, no public breakups, no controversy, no attention-seeking posts. In October 2022, Khaby proposed to Zaira in a romantic ceremony, and they married in a private ceremony in Italy in 2023. The wedding was intimate, family-focused, and deliberately kept away from media frenzy. Family first, Khaby still lives near his family in northern Italy. His parents, who once worked grueling jobs to make ends meet, are now retired, financially supported by their son. Khaby bought them a house, something he calls his greatest achievement. My mother cleaned houses for rich Italian families, Khaby shared emotionally. Now she has her own house paid for. That means everything to me. His siblings remain mostly out of the spotlight, though they occasionally appear in his vlogs. Khaby is intentional about protecting them from the pressures of his fame. Hobbies and downtime. When he's not creating content, Khaby is surprisingly ordinary. He plays FIFA obsessively, he's a Juventus fan, watches anime, One Piece and Naruto are favorites, and cooks Senegalese dishes with his mother. He doesn't party, doesn't club, and rarely drinks. I've seen what fame does to people who lose themselves, he said. I never want to be that person. The social media landscape is brutal. Creators rise meteorically, then vanish just as quickly. So how does Khaby plan to maintain relevance? The Charli D'Amelio lesson. When Khaby surpassed Charli in followers, many assumed she was finished. But Charli pivoted, launched a beauty brand, got a Hulu show, and diversified. Khaby watched and learned. The Mr. Beast strategy. Mr. Beast maintains dominance through constant innovation and reinvestment. Khaby has adopted a similar model, reinvesting earnings into better production quality, exploring new content formats, and building long-term projects. The Rock principle. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson transitioned from wrestling to movies to business mogul by maintaining authenticity while evolving. Khaby cites him as an inspiration. The Rock never forgot where he came from. That's my goal. Current threats. New creators emerge daily. TikTok's algorithm favors novelty. Khaby's format, while successful, could become stale. His team is aware, experimenting with longer-form content on YouTube, exploring potential TV opportunities, and developing merchandise lines. The question isn't whether Khaby will remain TikTok's #1 forever. That's unlikely in the platform's volatile ecosystem. The question is whether he can build something that transcends TikTok entirely. 50 years from now, when media historians study the early 2020s, Khaby Lame will occupy a fascinating footnote. He represents several cultural shifts happening simultaneously. The death of language barriers in entertainment. For decades, Hollywood dominated global entertainment because English was the industry standard. Khaby proved you don't need language at all, just universal human experience. The rise of the everyman, celebrity. Khaby isn't exceptionally talented at any traditional skill. He can't sing, dance, act though he's learning, or perform death-defying stunts. His talent is being relatable. That's a new kind of fame. The immigrant success story reimagined. Traditional immigrant narratives follow a pattern: arrive, struggle, work hard, and achieve the American/European dream through traditional means. Khaby's story is different. He achieved success through a medium that didn't exist when his parents immigrated. He represents a generation of immigrants building entirely new paths. The algorithm as kingmaker. Khaby's success was largely algorithmic. He created content the TikTok algorithm loved: high completion rates, universal appeal, and shareability. He's proof that understanding digital platforms can matter more than traditional talent. This question haunts all influencer culture. Is what Khaby does art, or just content? Critics argue his videos are repetitive, formulaic, and lack depth. They're not wrong. Khaby essentially performs the same joke with different setups over and over. But isn't that also what comedians do? Jerry Seinfeld built a career on observational humor with the same basic structure. Charlie Chaplin repeated physical comedy gags. Repetition with variation is a cornerstone of comedy. The real criticism might be simpler. People struggle to accept that someone can become wildly successful doing something that looks easy. It feels unfair. I could do that, people say. But they don't, and that's the point. Execution, consistency, and timing matter more than complexity. In rare vulnerable moments, Khaby has opened up about the mental toll of fame. Some days I wake up and I don't want to film, he admitted. I'm tired of making the same face, doing the same gesture. But then I think about the kid in Senegal or India or Brazil who watches my videos and laughs, and I remember why I do this. The pressure to constantly produce content is immense. Unlike traditional celebrities who work on projects and then take breaks, influencers are expected to be always on. Khaby has been strategic about boundaries. He doesn't post daily, doesn't respond to every trend, and takes weeks-long breaks when needed. His team has implemented mental health protocols, mandatory time off, access to therapists who specialize in influencer culture, and strict limits on social media consumption. Khaby doesn't read his comments anymore. His team curates positive highlights for him. Fame is amazing, But it's also isolating, Khaby reflected. Everyone knows me, but they don't know me. So where does Khaby go from here? Several projects are in development. Film and television. Khaby has been taking acting classes and is in talks for several Italian film projects. The challenge? Finding roles that leverage his physical comedy without forcing him to be overly verbal. Think modern-day Buster Keaton or Mr. Bean. Business ventures. Khaby is developing a lifestyle brand focused on simplicity, everything from minimalist home goods to a possible app that simplifies daily tasks. The irony of creating products to simplify life isn't lost on him. Philanthropic work. Khaby has partnered with UNHCR, UN Refugee Agency, to support refugee youth. He's funding education programs in Senegal and Italy for immigrant children. The long-game content strategy. Khaby's team is developing documentary-style content showing his journey, the behind-the-scenes struggles, the business decisions, and the personal challenges. This positions him as a personality beyond just comedy. Potential platform diversification. With TikTok facing potential bans in various countries, Khaby is hedging bets, building stronger presences on YouTube and Instagram and even exploring decentralized platforms. Khaby's success has fundamentally altered how brands and creators think about content. Silence as strategy. Dozens of creators have tried copying Khaby's silent format. Most fail because they don't understand it's not about silence. It's about timing, expression, and authentic frustration. Global-local. Brands now prioritize creators with global appeal over those with strong regional followings. Khaby proved international reach is more valuable than American-centric popularity. Simplicity sells. In an era of increasingly elaborate productions, Khaby's stripped-down format is refreshingly simple. It's inspired a counter-movement against overproduced content. Immigrant creators rising. Khaby paved the way for creators from non-English-speaking backgrounds to find global audiences. His success showed that platform algorithms can overcome language barriers if the content is universally relatable. And that's the story of Khaby Lame, from a laid-off factory worker sleeping on a friend's couch to the most followed person on TikTok, all without saying a single word. A story of resilience, simplicity, and the power of making people laugh in the language everyone understands. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Khaby's journey, make sure to subscribe to Rise to Fame for more incredible Rise to Fame stories. Drop a comment below and let us know who you want us to feature next. Should we cover Mr. Beast's journey from broke teenager to YouTube's biggest philanthropist? Or maybe the untold story of how Emma Chamberlain redefined influencer culture? You decide. Thanks for watching Rise to Fame, where we go beyond the fame to tell the real stories. See you in the next one.